These are 25 reasons you'll hate Las Vegas. Number one is if you're easily offended. I was in an Uber today and there was literally a guy standing on the sidewalk with his pants down and everything hanging out. Now, thankfully, that's not an everyday occurrence, but something you will see every day is women wearing skimpy outfits with TNA hanging out all over the place.
Loud environments. Here in Las Vegas, we are known as the party, nightlife capital of the world. So when you come here, whether it's daytime at the day club, nighttime at the nightclub, or if there's just a huge convention or event in town, there's big crowds everywhere, it's going to be a loud party atmosphere. So if that's not your thing, you might want to stay away.
Something else you're going to hate about Las Vegas is there's a lot of scams to look out for. One of the scams I hate the most are the fake showgirls on the strip who are all nice to you, wanting you to take a picture with them, and then after you take the picture, they demand like $100 out of you. I asked my Facebook group, what pisses you off the most about Las Vegas? And one person said, the fake showgirls that hustle out front of the casinos. They act like they want to take your pic for fun and then they start hustling you for money. Absolutely. They say they work for MGM, but they actually work for a strip club. I don't know if that's true. They lie and beg tourists out of $50 or $100, saying they expected to be paid that much for a photo. Yep. They took $100 from an 18-year-old kid that was out with our family. He said he would pay them 10, and then he asked them to break 100, and they took it and told him they needed more. We called the police, and they told us what a scam those girls are, and that they get constant calls, but if you hand them any money and they keep it rather than give you change, it's a civil dispute. So it's crap like that that makes some people just hate Vegas.
Although Las Vegas is an awesome place to come visit, it can feel very overwhelming, especially if you're a first-time visitor. These massive casinos we have here with beautiful displays that cost billions of dollars to build, they're huge, they're farther apart than you realize on the strip, and even once you get inside of them, they can be confusing to navigate. So if you're a first-timer especially, it can feel like you're a bit lost just trying to get around one street here in Las Vegas.
And I'll tell you what, even if you're someone who's been here a ton of times, I stayed at Luxor for the first time on this trip, and it took me like 3 days to learn the layout of that entire hotel. So yeah, that's all I want to say. A really common response in that Facebook group to what pissed people off is that it's not the value that it used to be. For example, one person said, it's not the same as it once was. You used to get deals on everything, and that's what made it fun. Now you pay so much for everything. Because there were so many deals, people used to spend more money. But now I have a drink for $40 and I feel guilty, so I just can't let loose as much. Oh, and up and down the escalators that are always broken.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of truth to that. Many of the deals in Las Vegas that some of you grew up with, like 99-cent shrimp cocktails, those are long gone. You can still get some affordable food deals and drink deals along the strip, but it is becoming increasingly difficult. One thing you're gonna have to get used to if you come to Las Vegas is being around drinkers and smokers. For a lot of you where you live, smoking is really, really regulated, but here in Vegas, you're gonna find smoking way more common inside casinos, certainly out in the public, and oftentimes you're gonna go to places, particularly Fremont Street, that are more compact, a bit more congested, where after you're done walking Fremont Street, particularly at night when the crowd is the largest, you're very likely going to have the smell of cigarette smoke on your shirt.
But I'll add to that, as someone who doesn't like cigarette smoke, yes, there's a lot of people smoking in Vegas, but these newer casinos have such good filtration systems that if there isn't someone smoking literally right next to me, I can't even tell. If you're walking down the strip at night, you will smell pot all over the place. Seriously, the only place you're safe from the pot smoke is inside of a hotel or casino.
One thing that can be upsetting to people when they come here to Las Vegas is sometimes they feel like from the moment they get off that plane, everything is set up for them to just spend money and just lose it. Right when you come off that plane, we have slot machines in the airport, so you can gamble before you even get to your hotel room. When you come to your hotel, you're gonna feel like there's lots of fees oftentimes when it comes to booking your room, to the meal at your restaurant, to maybe drink fees, all sorts of things just to actually stay at the hotel. When you're walking the strip or you're walking Fremont Street, you're gonna have people with their hand out saying, hey, let's take a photo. Hey, tip me for this, tip me for that. it can feel like almost everywhere you turn around, you are getting charged a fee for something, or like there's some kind of catch to anything you're being offered.
And speaking of resort fees, I think this earns its very own spot on the list because this is probably the single most hated thing in Las Vegas. So many people cannot stand resort fees. There are a few ways to get out of them. For example, if you get gold status at MGM resorts or if you get diamond status at Caesars resorts, then all your resort fees are comped when you're booking direct. But if you don't have status, expect to pay about $40 or $50 per night on top of your nightly room rate.
Because Las Vegas is such a popular place for millions of people to visit every year, lines can get long. And this starts at the airport. Sometimes just waiting for your Uber or Lyft to pick you up can be a long line. If you're going to go out to the nightclubs, those lines can be incredibly long. If you're trying to get into some place like a restaurant, you want to have reservations so you can cut back on the length of the line you might be waiting in while you're here.
Speaking of long lines, if you don't like crowds, you're going to hate Vegas because you'll always be around people here, especially on the weekends. Another reason you might not like Vegas is if you don't enjoy being hit on by prostitutes. I was playing slots at a bar on this trip when a girl tapped me on the shoulder and she goes, "Hey, it's nice to have some eye candy around here. Cheers." And then I was thinking she might be a sex worker, and sure enough, I was observing her working later, and she's exactly what I thought she was. And this happens a lot if you're a single guy in Vegas, especially if you're out in the casino alone at night.
Although Las Vegas is known as Sin City, and people seem to think it's this anything goes place, the reality is it's not quite as anything goes as you think. For one, when it comes to marijuana laws here, you cannot legally consume those products in public. Now, I have never heard of someone getting arrested just for consuming in public. However, it does open the door for you to get stopped, and it could lead to other things that you could be arrested for. Another area is when it comes to strip clubs in Las Vegas. The law here states that if a club is fully nude, it cannot serve alcohol. There's one place that is grandfathered in, but for every other place here in the city, if there is full nudity, there's no alcohol in the strip club.
And just for informational purposes, where is that one place?
That is Palomino in North Las Vegas. They are grandfathered in, full nudity with alcohol.
One thing a lot of people hate about Las Vegas is that there's bums and crackheads and beggars all over the place. And it's a very, very common sight when you're walking down the strip to see a homeless person reach into a trash can and take out a can of Coke and start drinking it. I even see people like licking walls and windows and doorknobs and all sorts of gross stuff like that. And something people really hate in the summers here is the heat, especially people living here. But even if you're visiting and walking from one hotel to the hotel next door, it can be really freaking hot.
Here in Las Vegas, even though the strip is only about 4 miles long, you're going to do a lot, and I mean a lot, of walking when you come here. These hotels and casinos are a lot farther apart than they look, and even inside of them, they're so massive, you can easily walk miles from your room to your elevator, all over the casino floor and throughout the property before you even get outside.
Another reason you'll hate Las Vegas is if you're impulsive or if you have trouble controlling your gambling. If you're one of those kind of people, this place is not for you, and I strongly recommend you do not come here. Although sadly, you're probably the casino's favorite customer. And on the topic of gambling, if you hate losing, this $4 billion casino is not built on people winning. Although we all come to Vegas hoping that we're going to win, the sad reality is most of us leave here as losers.
The prices here in Vegas are already expensive, but if you plan on coming during one of the big events during the year, it can be absurdly expensive. Certain times a year, it can be hard to find a room for under $400 a night. 5 times a year that you know Vegas is going to be crazy like clockwork. Super Bowl weekend, opening weekend of March Madness, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, and New Year's Eve. Those 5 times a year, plus other big conferences and events throughout the year, guaranteed to be even higher prices than you're used to.
Although this doesn't bother me, something a lot of people cannot stand is when people bring their kids to Vegas.
Although Las Vegas was years ago known for a place that was being very generous when it came to gambling and having good odds for people winning, that has changed over time. Things like 3-2 blackjack have largely been replaced by 6-5 blackjack. things like a single zero roulette wheel. We now have more double zero roulette wheel, even triple zero roulette wheel. So over the years, the chances of the average tourist coming here and winning money in Las Vegas has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller.
One big reason why a lot of people feel like Vegas isn't the right place for them is they feel like it's just too commercial and all too superficial.
Part of the reason people think Vegas is too commercial or too superficial is even though we have some really cool structures here on the Strip, some people don't like the fact that we have a mini New York City or the Venetian type Italian themed property or the Eiffel Tower. Some people feel like what Vegas does is just kind of copy other major tourist destinations and use it to try to get people to come here.
There's no shortage of people trying to rip you off in Las Vegas. On Jacob's channel, we did a video of the biggest rip-offs in Las Vegas, so go click on that right now.
See you guys over there. You're going to learn a lot.